And in fairness, I look like this because I'm from Texas. Yeah, this is what hours of wearing a football helmet in extreme heat will do to your head. And I'm hardcore Texan. 6th generation Texan. Yeah, if you're more Texan than me, you are Mexican. That's, yeah. That's a historically accurate joke, folks, so if you didn't laugh at it, learn from it. And one of the perks of being from Texas is people love to stereotype. Like, I have been told more than once that I look like an extra from a tornado film. I don't know if you've picked up on that. And that's fair, because yeah, you know what? I'm a connoisseur of barbecue. You know what else? Can't spell the word connoisseur. I can't. That's solid stereotyping. Some people think Texans are stupid. Yeah, we are. Yeah. My best friend growing up was afraid of prisms. Man. Thought they were devices that could turn light gay. I'm not proud of that at all. I wasn't much better. For most of my childhood, I thought French people and vegans were fictional characters from literature, so we were dumb. We were dumb. But love is really about real practical things. It's about conflict resolution, and my girlfriend and I were great at that because we disagree on almost everything. We disagree on food because she's a vegetarian, and I am, like I said, the opposite of that. I'm a Texan. Yeah. In Texas, we believe it's fine to kill any animal for food, except a stork, of course, because we do consider that abortion. Pretty sure that's in the Bible, guys. Pretty sure it is. But here's what she does that bothers me the most. She compares her food to meat. And not just any meat. Bacon. The most glorious of all the meats. For those that aren't clear on this, bacon and ham come from the same animal, which makes me disappointed in ham. He's like, come on, ham, just get your act together. Just do something with your life. Maybe someday you'll be bacon also. Just focus. My girlfriend's like, I won't eat anything with a face on it. I'm like, I don't either. I cut the face off. I eat the bacon part. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure it's not the face meat. I don't know where it comes from on the pig. I don't. Maybe the soul, because it tastes like magic. You know, in order to make bacon, you have to cure it, which means it was sick once and now it's bacon. So that's a miracle right there. You just cook it and it gets smaller and more powerful, like an Italian mother or a Korean dictator. It's an amazing food. And she's like, you need to respect my opinions. And I'm like, you need to have better opinions. That would help this a lot. Because that's true, there's a huge difference between the taste of bacon and what a vegetarian thinks bacon might taste like. Right? That's like me as a man comparing any pain on my body to giving birth. Right? Women, the pain and stress you go through, just, that's exactly how much taste there is in bacon.
I don't live in California anymore. 22 years ago, I moved from Northern California to Houston, Texas. That's my home now, yeah. That's a weird move. There is a completely different cost of living. I sold a 1,200 square foot condo in California, made enough money to move to Houston and buy the Astros. There are some similarities. They're both hugely populated cities. They both have lots of traffic. I've noticed a major difference. When people cut each other off on the road in Houston, they're a lot friendlier to one another than they are in San Francisco. And I think that's because in Houston, everybody has a loaded gun in their car. It's a smiling and waving when you know the other guy has a gun. I don't have a gun, but I have a really good reason for not having a gun. I know me. If I had a gun, people I love would be dead and I'd be in prison. Some of the laws shocked me being a California boy. When I first moved to Houston, this was their liquor law. They've since changed it. When I first moved to Houston, you were allowed to have an open container of alcohol in your car, as long as the driver wasn't drinking it. But if you read your gun permit law, you couldn't have the open container of alcohol in the same car with the loaded gun. So that was a decision you had to make before you left the house. Is it a Colt 44 or a Colt 45 nights? I can conceal, then consume. Shots are shots.
So, it's a Texas thing. Anybody here from Texas? He's scared. He's like a hostage in Utah. But your hair looks great, sir. So in Texas, we have big hair. I don't know if you know it's actually state law. My son was like, Mom, your hair is so big. It's like a frozen bell. I said, I don't know if you know this, son, but big hair makes your hips look small. Thank you. Thank you. So when we're born, they hand you a birth certificate, hairspray, and a back comb. Off you go. You should see my dad. He looks great.
Like being from Texas, too. I lived in L.A. for most of my adult life, so I had to get used to some stuff because L.A. is very diverse, but Texas, we pretty simple. We ain't got but 3 races in Texas. We got blacks, whites, and everybody else is considered Hispanics. We used to go see Bruce Lee movies talking about, boy, that Mexican show can't kick. ¿Qué pasa? They know that boy named Bruce Lopez. I wonder if he can beat up Jackie Chavez. See, Bruce Lee used to do karate movies back in the day, and Jackie Okay, never mind. It is what it is, dog. It is what it is. Oh, you talk. Love you guys.
But when I get home, I like to be more of a homebody. I don't like going out too much. I'm a big movies guy. I love movies. Movies are really my thing, except the horror genre. I can't do horror anymore. They're just too unrealistic. I can't get on board. The last one that really just did me in was the newest Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I don't know if you saw that. It was edited on VidAngel. Calm down. Don't tense up too hard, okay? I did it right. But there was a scene, like I get it. He's got a fake face. He's running around sawing people. That's scary. But there was a scene in that movie where he ran around terrorizing the Texas State Fair. I call BS on that. Everyone in Texas has a gun. There's no way he's making it out. They'd be like, is that a guy with a fake face? Shh, finally. Roll credits, end of franchise. Right? He could run around for days in the Oregon State Fair. Sure, that's fine. But not the Texas State Fair, that's my point. They probably wouldn't even run away in Oregon. They'd just stand there screaming, he's entitled to his opinion!
Hey, Trump, Texas is talking smack. You should drop some bombs on them. I know we're getting all sensitive. It's just a joke. Don't worry about it. One time a lady yelled at me in the middle of the show. She said, you can't bomb Texas. That's where we make the school books. Sounds like 2 birds with 1 stone right there, I think. The fact that Texas makes the school books is exactly why Trump won. But it's just a joke, I'm sorry. It's okay. We can't bomb Texas, they make great calculators. Where else are you gonna get that, you know? This is a Texas instrument. I heard people whispering, it's a Texas Instruments joke. He's not funny, but he's very clever.
I lived in lots of places. I grew up in Virginia. Later life, I moved to Texas. That was a big change. That's like growing up in Athens and moving to Sparta. Which is a funny joke if you read books. If you watch Honey Boo Boo, not so funny.
But it is such an honor to be here. I know a lot of you don't even know me. I don't know what you want to know. I live in northern Mexico, a place called Houston, Texas. And, yeah. And I'm actually excited about tonight's show because I heard you guys were like an epic crowd, and my last show was actually in Houston 2 nights ago, and it didn't go well. I did a show for the Texas National Vegan Society. Like, yeah. Like, all the vegans in Texas showed up, all 7. And,
somebody told me I looked like Rascal Flatts if they were anorexic. Life is a highway. I'm gonna puke. For those who didn't get that reference, don't worry, I'll explain. Rascal Flatts is a country band. I'll be honest, I don't listen to a whole lot of country music, but that's just because I went to college. Oh, come on! Shut up and laugh, white people. It's a joke. I say that joke just to mess with the country music fans. Y'all actually took that joke pretty well there, Utah. I'm proud of you. You know who did not appreciate that country music joke at all? Texas. Oh, man, 5 months ago, I'm in Houston, Texas, rocking a show live. I busted out that country music joke. All I saw in the back of the room was an angry cowboy hat pop up and go, "Hey, get a haircut, you little wussy." I was like, "Relax, officer." That lady was nuts. Everybody get it? It was a woman. All right.
I drove from east to west. I drove from Florida to California. Clap if you've ever done that. You hear all the sad that clapter sounds? Because it's the worst drive ever. You know why? Because Texas exists. That state is 1,000 miles of suck. It's terrible. And they like to remind you about how far you are from nothing. I left Houston. The next sign I saw was El Paso, 5:46. Are you kidding me? Why even put that? Just put what you honestly mean. El Paso, tomorrow. New Mexico, maybe. If you take Texas off the map, it is 45 minutes from Florida to California. Flat.
A couple of days later, we were at a train station in Paris, and we ran into a married couple from Houston, Texas. Yeah, well, they were very excited to talk to us, you know, because they're from Texas. They wanted to practice their English. They asked us where we were from, and we told them Minnesota, and they couldn't believe it. They said, "Oh my goodness, you live in Minnesota. Is it cold all the time there?" I was like, "You know, some of the time, not all the time." And then she said, "Well, at least you have the mountains." I don't think the schools in Texas are very good. I let that one slide.
I grew up in Oak Cliff, Texas. Anybody here from Oak Cliff? Nobody made it out. Okay, it was a little bit of a rough neighborhood, rough town. My family was really rough. We had our family reunion at jail. It was just more convenient for everybody. Besides, I could see my family. Good old Uncle Bob, number 70223. We called him Uncle Seven. That's where he met his wife, Uncle Six. I'll give y'all a second. I went to college at SMU, which was kind of this ritzy school, but they were nice to the poor students. Both of us had a great time, but you could tell the difference between me and the rich kids, you know, because they had Mercedes and I had shoes. One time, thank you, one person. You know, they say if you can make one person laugh, you're not that good. Anyway, my rich friends, you know, we all go to the lake, and they've got these big old fancy beach towels, you know, they go on forever. I didn't have one. I had like 20 washcloths. Trying to line up in a rectangle. You gotta lie down fast. Hey. So I go, pattern.